Hello there. I wanted to have a chat to you today about being heard in the workplace. I hear this all the time that women feel like they've been shut down or they are in fear of being shut down, whether they're in meetings or they're in conversations or whether they're doing some kind of training or some kind of development with their teams. There's this lingering thought in the back of their minds that they are not being taken seriously and that they're not being heard. So, what I wanted to do today was to give you some tips to help you overcome those feelings and to be more confident and to be actually heard in business. So, the first thing to understand is that as women, we have been raised with stereotypical gender roles, and those roles dictate that women should be accommodating and passive. Fabulous terms, aren't they? Accommodating and passive. And this discourages us from speaking up and from asserting ourselves. And you might think that you haven't really been exposed to those kinds of stereotypes, but if you think back to your childhood and the kinds of movies or children's television that you were watching, and you consider some of the print media that or the digital media that you've been exposed to, it's really subliminal at a lot of times. And just take Disney, for example. It's only been reasonably recent that Disney's changed its female role model from being somebody who is a passive, accommodating princess waiting to be rescued by Prince Charming into somebody who's more confident and able to assert herself. So it really does come at us as women from childhood, and it's great to see those gender stereotypes being overturned by the music industry. But that's something that we need to be conscious of. We've got subliminal programming which teaches us that we need to be assertive and accommodating. We're also living in fear of backlash. As women, we can find that we have an inbuilt fear or even a self defense mechanism that holds us back from speaking up through fear of what might be said in response, what might be said in retaliation, and fear that we might be labeled something like aggressive or bossy. Oh no, you're bossy. Or confrontational, or having a problem with conflict. All of these labels are labels that women get when they speak out, but they're probably not the same kind of labels that men get. So we need to be mindful of that. If you feel like you're uncomfortable speaking up, ask yourself, are you being passive and accommodating, or are you being fearful? Is something holding you back? Are you worried about what the other people might say? Are you worried that you might be considered bossy or confrontational or aggressive? Because if you are, then that's wonderful because those things are really easy to overturn. So let's have a look at how to do that. So the first thing you need to be mindful of is whenever you're in any kind of meeting scenario in your workplace, make sure that you have prepared thoroughly, because the more prepared you are, the more confident you're going to be in your material. And if you're confident in your material, it comes across in your body language, your vocal tone, and your general presence in the room. So it can really help you to articulate clearly if you are thoroughly prepared. Now, if you're in a situation in a workplace where you have to have a conversation with somebody, it's really important to try and speak early in that conversation. Rather than being passive and accommodating, we want to actually assert ourselves by taking our part of the conversation in our control as early as possible. And the other thing to do to support that is to use really assertive body language. Now, there's a program in the community. If it's not uploaded now, it will be fairly soon. And it's Body Language Blunders. And that goes through all of the techniques to help you display yourself as a body in a group of people or in a one-to-one scenario with confidence. And there are just lots of little things that can change how you're perceived by other people and impact on your ability to be heard. So make sure you check that out. So assertive body language is really important, and so is a strong voice. There's nothing worse than somebody who speaks really quietly and like a little mouse. Especially as women, sometimes we will use the question at the end of a sentence by raising our voice at the end, because it makes us seem like we're not really confident and we're not really making a statement at all. We're asking a question. So you see how my voice raising at the end of each of those lines conveys a question and lack of confidence instead of being assertive and confident in what we're saying. So practice using a strong voice, one that you can project. And to my martial arts friends, you ladies have already got that under control, so great job. If you're not sure how to practice a strong voice, look at the classroom and have a look under the module Confident Speakers, I think it is, and there's a whole section on voice in there and how to use your voice in a really powerful way. So the third element, yes, so prepare thoroughly, speak early, use strong voice, use positive body language, so that's number 5. Make sure that you gather alliances, a little bit like the Hunger Games, right? So you want to be able to gather alliances. And what I mean by that is build relationships with colleagues who can support you. Now in martial arts, we call that Dr. Hoffmaning somebody. And basically what it means is that you are saying about somebody else that that person is really, really good at what they do. So you're building them up. So create relationships with other people in your workplace who will build you up to the other people that you're coming into contact with. So those are the 5 tips for making sure that you are no longer passive or accommodating, and that you are stepping away from being fearful of being heard. Love to know what you think, or if there's anything else that you'd like some more information on, drop it in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.